about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24 Hours Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. What a crazy day. Sunday, May 28th. We got Brad Garlinghouse being extremely bullish, which we're going to get into. We're going to get into an IMF riddle. We're going to get into Ashish Birla, and we're going to get into the Ripple test because it looks like the Ripple test might actually be a thing. If you guys haven't seen the pathway to the regulation of crypto assets, a global approach published by the World Economic Forum a couple days ago, it's going to have you, on the edge of your seats and thinking, is Ripple actually do a Ripple test? Can Ripple, the company itself, create some kind of regulatory clarity within the crypto sector and introduce something like the Howey test, but for crypto based off of the Ripple test and how they got clarity for XRP? Folks, a lot of stuff is about to happen and it's about to shock a lot of people. Where do we even begin? Let's start off with this bullish like by Brad Garlinghouse. Matico tweeted this out. Weekend vibes, NASDAQ, Ripple, and Matico. We got a big billboard here. It got almost 500,000 views, just published less than 24 hours ago. And if you guys recall, crypto firm Ripple buys a Swiss startup as SEC crackdown forces company to consider overseas move. That's not the case. Swiss and the World Economic Forum, massive. Okay, Switzerland, and Ripple was eyeing Switzerland before, which we're going to get into. But take a listen to Brad Garlinghouse over here. So digital asset investor tweeted out this saying, dimes to donuts, this thing is over. And Brad Garlinghouse liked that tweet of what Matico and what digital asset investor said. So the SEC versus Ripple case, folks, we are counting down the days. We are very close. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Ripple releases a short list of 5 countries it might move to if US regulation remains unclear. This was back in 2020. And one of those countries were Switzerland. Ripple Labs has formed a short list of countries to move to should the blockchain payment service company leave the US amid a lack of regulatory clarity there. Its top executives said. Japan, Singapore, massive with Ripple and its digital asset XRP. Switzerland, the UK, and the UAE are the potential destinations. Chief Executive CEO Brad Garlinghouse said. And 2023, Ripple has basically taken over Switzerland, Singapore, Japan, and the UK, and the UAE. What a time to be alive. And NASDAQ eyes crypto custody launch by end of second quarter. End of second quarter is coming up. And it's also coming up with, so coincidentally, with Ripple case ending. Take a listen to what they said here. NASDAQ will join BNY Mellon and Fidelity, among other large financial firms offering crypto safekeeping. Others are focusing effort on tokenizing traditional assets like bonds in the hopes that crypto underlying technology will make trading and processing the asset more efficient. And it's going to 100%. So if NASDAQ is going to do custody of crypto, they could leverage Ripple's liquidity hub. If you guys remember, Ripple previews Liquidity Hub to allow customers to buy, sell, and hold crypto assets. This is a big deal. We got to look at it from this perspective. NASDAQ and Ripple could collaborate on this, okay? In the future, every customer will join RippleNet with the same base service and a wallet designed to support both crypto and fiat. By adopting this technology, customers can take advantage of the latest blockchain-enabled solutions that keep them at the cutting edge. The platform is designed to seamlessly upgrade and add new services as customers want them. Customers will be able to use their Ripple-enabled wallet to custody anything that's tokenized. Folks, that is massive. NASDAQ and Ripple, in my opinion, are working hand in hand. And why don't we get into just for USDC with Circle, stablecoins, regulatory clarity coming with the World Economic Forum approach, which we're going to get into. But take a listen to this little clip, the riddle by the IMF and what Ashish Burla says.
Some authorities are looking to regulate the bigger stablecoins the way they do banks and other traditional financial institutions. Now, here's the real riddle. If these stablecoins are regulated like banks, don't they end up becoming the banks that crypto assets were meant to replace?
The government seems to be also waking up to this notion that, hey, listen, we need to get moving here on creating proper regulation. There's also a lot of regulation, at least talk, around the stablecoin aspect of it.
Some authorities are looking to regulate the bigger stablecoins.
There's also a lot of regulation, at least talk, around the stablecoin aspect of it. And how great would it be if every bank in the United States issued a stablecoin on a blockchain?
If these stablecoins are regulated like banks, don't they end up becoming the banks that crypto assets were meant to replace?
Now that would connect it to real world society and solve real world problems. That stablecoin regulation needs to pass. It needs to get adopted, and it needs to be well written, just like the Telecommunication Act was written in the 1960s that helped the internet flourish.
Hearing that in 2023, because that is about a year and a half old, is pretty massive given all the stuff that Ripple has been going through and fighting for regulation. So take a look at this PDF. Guess who is one of the reviewers for this PDF? We have an individual from Ripple, manager of CBDC, Hu Harsono. And take a listen to what they say. Coordinating regulatory frameworks across jurisdictions is a complex task for almost any sector. With crypto assets, given the unique features of the underlying technology as well as the boundless opportunities that it presents, it is often contended that global coordination is not just desirable, but necessary. And they talk about self and co-regulation, where there's different bodies all working together. So self and co-regulation, this is the table 6 we're going to go over. Take a listen to this. Multi-stakeholder engagement between public and private sectors. So is this why Brad Garlinghouse said this?
Well, so I do think, as you say, I think it's a pretty bellwether case at this point. And we talked about, the Howey test is this Orange Grove for a Supreme Court case in the 40s. I think that the Ripple test may be what we look at in the future. And, I think the Ripple test may be what we look at in the future. And
builds trust in the ecosystem. And then they go ahead and refer to an example of in Switzerland. In Switzerland, the Financial Market Supervisor Authority authorizes self-regulatory organizations to oversee the compliance of SRO members with AML legislation while being supervised by FINMA. So they're looking at Switzerland, where XRP is clearly not a security. And folks, we know this is all a show. We are coming to the end of this case. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll be back with another.
we started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.